Most of you ask about stage builds, how it actually works. Well, Michael's truck behind me is going to give you all of the answers. Stage 1 was he actually collected the vehicle out of a dealership in Melbourne. Stage 2, it's now come up the highway into Big Dog builds for the essentials, plus a few extras ready for stage 2. It may sound confusing, all these different stages in a build, but this video here, we're going to walk through what can be done in stage 1, what to think of with the end result in mind, and how this vehicle is going to take you around Australia on those weekend getaways, or it could be just a tough daily that can legally tow 4.5 tonne behind it. I'm Dean Bleasner, the co-founder of Big Dog Builds, with well over 750 trucks through the workshop. It's builds like this one here that has so much potential for future stages down the track. This customer, being in Melbourne, delivered the vehicle at his local dealership, actually made the run up here himself, checked it in, went through with the team as what was happening for this stage, and then also gave a little bit of insight at what was to come down the track as well. If you're interstate and you're looking at getting the vehicle into the workshop, you may not have the time to drive it up yourself. We can help transport the vehicle into the workshop, get a full build done, talk through all the options, but knowing about that end result is what's going to save you money throughout those different build stages, no matter if you're chasing a budget, a feature, or you're wanting to get it quickly done for that first trip, because we all know getting a new vehicle, it's exciting, and you usually want to get it on the road and hit the trails. This stage included a massive 58-28 kilo GVM upgrade. We've got it on the scales. I'm keen to see what it weighs in stock form. It's got the essentials done to it. It's got the roof rack, it's got suspension, wheels, tyres, flares, mud flaps, and a few extra bits and pieces that we'll run through in this one here. But we'll start with the scales, what the vehicle currently weighs, and what the vehicle can handle in multiple stages ahead. And that right there is the magic number. Just under 4 tonne GVM is how this vehicle's sitting. And that leads me in to talking about how your vehicle is registered. As we know, the HD trucks here in Australia can either be registered in the NB1 category or the NB2 category. NB1 is car license, and that's going to be a maximum of 4495 kilo GVM. How this vehicle here sits, he's got just over 500 kilos of payload. That's gear in the back, tow ball weight, people inside the cab, and that little bit of fuel left in that fuel tank as well. Doesn't leave a lot of kilos to play with, and in my opinion, a HD truck in the NB2 category is going to give you the best chance at a compliant, safe, legal vehicle for years and years ahead. With the upgrades that we've done in this vehicle here, we started with the leaf spring reset in the rear end, and that's because this customer is looking at getting a canopy in a few months down the track. You may say, why would we need to upgrade the leaf springs in the rear end if the customer isn't getting a canopy on straight away? The reason being is upgrading the leaf springs in the rear end, we add an extra blade to that leaf pack, and we've engineered this kit here to have an additional 295 kilos over the standard axle load rating in the rear end. A massive 3289 kilo rear axle load rating gives this customer the peace of mind to go back into Victoria, get the canopy installed. I forget which one it's getting, to be honest, but getting that canopy installed, he's still going to have plenty of payload to go after that canopy's been put on. We have color-coded the flares, we've done the mud flaps on the rear end. Who wouldn't want a good-looking vehicle for a few months? So color-coding those ones was the option. And stage 2, like we said, with the canopy on the rear end, has got plenty of payload to play with. The wheels and tyres on the back of this one here, we've got the 35, 12.5, 18 Nitto Ridge grapplers, and they're wrapped onto a KMC Impact monoblock forged wheel. The KMC Impact wheel are an 18x9 -12. You'll see the flares at the rear, the flares at the front, and if we swing around to the back end here, you'll see how that tyre sits on the guard itself. The wider the offset, the further that wheel comes away from the vehicle itself. The more positive the offset, the further inside the vehicle. The standard offsets on the HD Chevy 2500 is quite high. I think off the top of my head, you've got a 20x8 or a 20x8.5 POS 57 or something like that. It's fair weight in. So now coming out, the most popular offset on a HD truck would be usually an 18x9 positive 18. This one here is an 18x9 -12. So a little bit further out again. And being in the NB2 National Heavy Vehicle category, or the track width of the vehicle isn't really a thing anymore. You can go that little bit wider. And doing this one here is going to still be nice and safe, legal, fills out the guards, and it gives a nice stance for the vehicle itself. Filling out the guards is one thing. Going too wide, you're then going to have the same problem with mud and bits and pieces flicking up the rear there. These are the new kickback mud flaps that we've got, and we've got adjustability in these flaps here to suit a couple different vehicle types. And then having that little kickback there doesn't matter if you're going up to a 37-inch tyre. We've got different size mud flaps coming here, which will keep everything nice and legal as well. You can go something a little bit bigger, or you can go something that looks quite nice and neat as well. If we stick to the rear end there, we'll look at the rear end setup. Hasn't got the tow hitch on the back yet. It has got airbags installed at the rear end. We've got the two little Schrader valves there to pump up and down those airbags, but this vehicle's also got the Air IQ installed, so we can do those rear airbags from the comfort of inside the vehicle. Because we have done the leaf spring reset on this one here, I don't think the customer's going to need any air in those airbags until that canopy is on the back, because the airbag is only there as an assist. If you're finding that you're using too much air in your airbags, the ride isn't very comfortable, going for a good suspension upgrade, just like we've done on this one here, will greatly improve the ride performance. I get asked a lot as well, the ride performance, will just a tyre change help things? Will just a shock absorber upgrade the ride and make it good enough? Or should I just put some airbags in the rear end? In my personal opinion, doing all three of those things is going to give you the best ride possible. A better suspension upgrade is going to greatly improve the ride. The wheels and the tyres, going from a factory 20-inch wheel with a small sidewall down to an 18-inch wheel with a bigger sidewall, means that you don't have to run such high pressures in those tyres. The small bump compliance is going to be a lot better, so you're not going to feel all those little cat's eyes on the road, all those little bumps. And then going for an airbag assist in the rear end with the van on the back is going to allow you to firm up the rear end so the van ball weight isn't throwing around the vehicle itself. The Chevy 2500s porpoise quite a bit when the weight of the ball is on the rear, and by porpoising, the whole vehicle sort of weighs up and down. When that ball weight on the rear end is pushing down, you definitely feel it. I don't know what it is a big truck, but obviously the distance from that rear axle all the way back to the tow bar assembly, and then you got your download ball weight on the rear end here. There's a lot of distance there to that, and then there's a lot of distance from the rear axle to the front. So having that weight on the back end just pushes around the vehicle. The factory shock absorbers aren't the best, so going for a kit like this one here is going to improve the ride dramatically. Michael wanted to get in this vehicle for stage 1. There's bar options coming for stage 2. Like we said, the canopy's going on the rear end there, but being NB2 registered, adding the long range fuel tank also is a mod code on that compliance plate. So this one here has got a Titan 210 litre OEM replacement fuel tank, going up at roughly 70 to 80 litres on top of the standard fuel tank. That code then is fully engineered on the mod plate along with the GVM upgrade, the suspension install, everything else that the engineers need to do there. But he also wanted a good set of side steps on the vehicle to make getting in and out just that little bit easier. Although this one is up on the weight scales already, the XL side steps, as you can see, do fold down quite a lot. And I think even with them up there and that extra couple of inches, this side step here is sitting lower than the factory one, how it come off the showroom floor. Stage 1 on this vehicle as well, you might have noticed the roof rack up on top. And as we swing around to the front of the vehicle, we'll look at that roof rack. It's the V1 combo from Big Dog. We've got the lights on that roof rack switched from the Switch Pro, which is inside the vehicle. And then as you can see as well, we've got the GME UHF there on the bonnet bracket. Up on the roof rack, we've got a 200 watt red arc solar panel, trickle charging to the under-bonnet battery. We've also got Starlink up there as well. The side lights, which are the little steady color changing side lights. And then we're ready to rumble for stage 2 down the track with the under-bonnet fuse panel set up, the power panel on this side here. And this one will look a little bit different to some of the others that you've seen in the videos. That's because there isn't actually too much off it just yet. Should you invest in the under-bonnet fuse panel power panel setup from stage 1? I think yes. And the reason being is we actually run all of the wiring from this under-bonnet location to the accessories down the opposite side of the vehicle as to how we used to do it straight off the battery on the other side. So having the power panel setup installed allows this whole board to be live. From the breaker on the other side, we can isolate all of this, which essentially turns the vehicle back to stock. Everything is fused under here from the side step fuses. We've got the Anderson plugs out the rear there. We've also got the Air IQ under here as well. and we also fuse the ignition trigger and high beam trigger as well. We spin over to the main fuse on top of the battery on this side here. We've got the mega fuse holder, and the factory battery is a solid state battery board with the relays underneath. On your factory board, if you lift up your one cover, you'll see all the factory components. This one here has got the ability to add more mega fuses under here. So if you did want to do a canopy on the rear end, the canopy company have got access here to put in a mega fuse, throw the DC-DC charger off that, run it into the rear, charge up the canopy while the vehicle's driving. Having resettable fuses on top of the battery here just neatens it all up, and it makes it quite accessible and also adaptable as well for future stages. Stage 1, like we said for this one, although there isn't too many electrical accessories on it, we've got the ability now to add all of them down the track for stage 2, 3, 4, no matter how many stages you want to get in the workshop. You're not having to pay any labour twice by having to do this a second time. So that's the under-bonnet fuse panel setup, the power panel setup, ready for multiple stages. We'll go to the back of the vehicle and we'll look at the massive kilos that this one has ready for the payload, the canopy on the back in the NB2 category. Pop out the trusty calculator, we'll get into those figures. And if this still confuses you, download the buyer's kit and it's going to give you a full rundown of all the different platforms that we work on, which platform could suit you the best. If the truck license thing is scaring you a little bit, you don't want to get a truck license for a big HD truck, some of the 1500 range might be perfect for you. There's plenty of FAQs answered in that buyer's kit, and the team here at Big Dog are ready to help at no matter which stage. If you're ready to pull the trigger, order the truck, we can get everything lined up, ready to come in the workshop before it hits the dealership. So I'm just going to open up my calculator, look back at this one here. 3966 is how the vehicle's sitting right now. There is a little bit of fuel still to put in this one. It has got the long range fuel tank. It was at about 3/4, so it does need a little bit of fuel, but the tare weight, call it 4 tonne, that's a nice easy figure. But if we go 5828, take away that 3966, gives us 1862 kilos to play with on top of how the vehicle's sitting right now. So that's plenty of kilos to play with. On top of the vehicle weight, how it sits. It's already got the roof rack. It's already got the stage 1 done to it. By the time you add bar work to the front end, the canopy on the rear, if you're looking at under-seat battery setups, rooftop tents, all of that adds up pretty quickly, but having a massive 1800 kilos plus to play with is how this Chevy 2500 is going to be ready for Michael to travel back down to Victoria, get the canopy installed, and then work out what he wants to do for bar work and a few other features for a stage 2 through Big Dog Build. And that's about it for this amazing Chevy 2500 stage 1. He's got the essentials, it's got a few other bits and pieces. If you've got questions about this video, guys, feedback, I'd love to read it in the comments below. And if you want to see more videos like this one here, these two Chevys, they're pretty damn cool. There's probably another Chevy down there, and why not add one down there as well.